I'll go through some of the examples of the national level, but there are some that only mention gender very, very marginally, and those are Benin, Central African Republic, Cape Verde, and Djibouti, for example. There's other ones as well. Yeah. Next slide. So just to take a couple examples, for instance, in Bangladesh, this is actually very good that Bangladesh has gender at the bottom. You'll see gender differentiated impacts in this table, and this is the national framework. So it's actually very good that gender differentiated impacts and not just women's participation is included in this. But you'll see that gender is not somewhere in the middle. It's only connected on the side here to the impact of employment and that sort of thing. So it is a little bit marginalized, but they've done a good job in bringing it actually into the main framework visually. Next slide. In Uganda, also a very good example of a NAPA. The first tier criteria at the national level, this is one of the things that is included. Equity and gender issues taking into consideration disadvantaged groups. And that's very unique within the NAPAs. And also in the key activities, developed guidelines for mainstreaming, including gender issues, is one of the key activities for the entire NAPA, and that's actually only one of three or four key activities. That's very good. Next slide. Also in Burundi, similar to Uganda, this is the main framework for Burundi in the climate-sensitive criteria, and then the government objectives. Women empowerment is one of 4 objectives. This is very good. Here's some other ones that are not as strong. In Congo and Guinea, and I'm glad you asked the question about Malawi too, because I've been really focusing on the African national plans. They mention women's role in water, agriculture, community development, and their vulnerability, which is interesting. And also Guinea, they talk about farming, lack of water, agricultural input. So this is also good text in those 2 countries. In Bhutan and Malawi, references are mostly also to women's participation. And in the case of Bhutan and a couple of other countries that I didn't look at, Millennium Development Goals are one of the key things. And I actually focused here on countries where people, I looked at the participant list for the CAPWIP Congress and see who was in the room. So hopefully I've covered some of the countries that are present here today.